Okay. V'haya Eikev tishmu unes hamishpatim ha'ela u'shmartem v'asisim ozam. If you will listen to the commandments, you guard them to do them. V'shamar Hashem elokech lecha. Hashem will watch you. He'll protect you as habris. The covenant, v'tzachas, the kindness, asher nishba l'vasecha, that He swore to your fathers. The Sukkim continues this parsha obviously. V'hevcha v'rechacha v'yirbecha. He will bless you. He'll love you, He'll bless you, He'll increase you, berach privitnecha, He'll bless the fruit of your womb, friad masecha, the fruit of the ground, the gancha, ziroshcha v'tzarecha, shkar ofech v'ashtonecha, all of your crops and things, and your oils, and your sheep, al adam asher nishba l'vasecha latzei slach, on the ground, on the land which Hashem swore to your forefathers to give to you, baruch tiyeh mikol ha'amim, you'll be blessed from all the peoples. There won't be any barren woman or animals amongst you. So if we follow the mitzvos, the beginning of this week's parasha tells us, we follow the mitzvos, Hashem will love us, He'll bless us, and we'll do well. We'll do very well. I saw a mashal cited by Rav Melech Biederman. You get Rav Melech Biederman's emails? Oh, they're great. They're really great. Biederman.
Oh yeah, Eli Melech Biederman.
Yeah. So he has a great mashal this week. He says.
I read it already.
So you know this then.
Yeah.
I'll say over to Dennis. He says from there's a story. There was a dove, and the dove didn't have wings. It couldn't fly. So you remember this? He used to walk around. It couldn't, and he felt very bad. This dove, because every day at the end of the day, the other doves would come and tell him all the amazing things they saw, the rivers and the cities and the fields, and this dove was very sad. So the dove davened to Hashem that he should grow wings. And one morning the dove woke up and he saw that he grew these things on his back, and he didn't know what they were. So he started walking around, and it made it harder for him to walk because he had these things on his back. So he says, Hashem, why'd you do this to me? He hears a voice from heaven. The voice from heaven says, Dove, those are wings. Just spread them, and they'll help you fly. And he did that, and he could fly, and he could see everything. So he said, this is a parable for the Torah. Some people think you have all the Torah, you have the mitzvos. It's just a burden. I got to do so much stuff. I gotta come to Union Hill every day, twice a day for minyan. I got to study Torah. I got to wear tefillin. I got to do all this stuff. It's a burden. But really, it's specifically those things that we think are a burden that allow us to fly high. Because the way to live a happy life and to be blessed is by doing the Torah and the mitzvos. That's what he says. He says, the heavy load of Torah and mitzvos is our wings. They're not cumbersome. Their heaviness enhances our lives and sweetens it. Our lives are far more pleasurable even in this world because of the load we carry. So, I want to go a little into the deeper in that idea. People think in the outside world, look at these Jews. They have so many mitzvos that they do. They have so many things they have to do. They have to keep Shabbos. They can't drive on Saturday. They can't, do other things. They gotta sit in a sukkah, all of Sukkot. They can't eat bread during Pesach. They can't go into any restaurant and just eat whatever they want. They can't go to Taco Bell or Chick-fil-A. I want to go to Chick-fil-A. The people seem to really like Chick-fil-A. It's so burdensome. So, let's talk about that a little bit. There's three parts of the soul. Three main parts of the soul that a Jew has. Right? Anyway, there's the nefesh, the ruach, and the neshama. And to be a happy person, to be a full person, we have to satisfy every part of our soul. The nefesh is the part of our soul that wants physical things, physical desires like food and other things. If we don't have food, you're not going to be happy, you're going to be starving. You're not going to be a happy person. But on the other hand, you can't eat too much. You can't overindulge, and you can't eat non-kosher food. Then there's the ruach. That's our personality. We have to feel good about ourselves. We should feel important, not in the sense of like gaiva, of haughtiness, but we should feel that we're important. Hashem made me. That means Hashem wants me in the world. That's a very important thing. That's the ruach. That's the part of us that's like our personality, right? That's the I, the me. Then there's one other part that people forget, and that's the neshama. The neshama is the part of the soul that all it wants to do is get close to Hashem. So what most people in the world live their lives, they just satisfy their nefesh and their ruach, right? They pursue physical pleasures, and they do things to make themselves feel important, but they don't do anything to connect to Hashem. If a person lives his life not satisfying that part of his soul, his neshama, then he's not going to live a happy life. The only way to be happy is to satisfy the neshama. Hashem gave us an instruction manual. Hashem made us, right? And just like He made us, He gave us an instruction manual. So He made us like just, you buy something from. I bought a pool. My parents bought a pool for the kids, so it came with an instruction manual. It was mostly in Chinese, but or it was in English that was clearly mistranslated by someone from China. You couldn't really figure out what it was saying. But the point is, you buy something, you need an instruction manual. So we're human beings. Hashem gave us an instruction manual about how to be most successful. If you don't follow the instruction manual for the pool, the water is going to come out, it's going to be tilted, it's not going to be, maybe you could swim in it a little bit, but it's not going to be the best. You want to be the best, you got to follow the instructions. Same thing with a human being. A human being wants to be his best, wants to be the happiest, he's got to follow the instruction manual. The instruction manual is the Torah. So we think that doing all these things, keeping Shabbos, coming to Minyan, keeping kosher, learning Torah, we think all these things are a burden, like things we have to do, but we don't realize when we do them, that's really, we're satisfying the part of our soul which connects to Hashem, which is the neshama. And when we satisfy the neshama, that's when we're truly happy. People that live the life, they don't satisfy the neshama, they can go through life. You're not going to die if you don't satisfy your neshama, but you're not going to be happy. It's like a car with a donut wheel, or like a broken wheel. The car can go for a little bit. It's not going to run too well. It's not going to go too fast. But eventually, the car is going to break down. It's not going to be so great. Same thing with us. If we don't live our lives properly, which means following the instruction manual of the Torah, we're not going to be happy. And that was with the dove. The dove thought his wings were just a burden. People think the Torah and the mitzvahs are just a burden, but it's not true. The Torah and the mitzvahs are what allow us to fly. We had a few years ago, I don't know if you remember, we had Rabbi Shmuel Lin come here.
Whose name?
Rabbi Shmuel Lin. He does a lot with campus outreach now. Rabbi Shmuel Lin, he didn't grow up religious. He actually said he hated Orthodox Jews. And he was a writer in Hollywood. He wrote with Steven Seagal, wrote a few movies for Steven Seagal. Yeah.
Seagal was a white. He made some good movies, Seagal.
Yeah, and then he made some bad movies. Under Siege 2.
I wasn't impressed.
You don't like Steven Seagal. Hey, he's a weird guy. So he wrote a lot of movies, and he had the opportunity, as he got turned on to Judaism, right? He was at the pinnacle of his career, that's like a pretty cool thing. Yeah, being in Hollywood, making a lot of money, fancy cars, he was living the life.
Yeah.
They doubt him.
So he got involved in Judaism. He felt that there was something there. There's something, even though he was so successful, he felt that his life was missing something, because he was satisfying the nefesh and the ruach, but he wasn't satisfying his neshama. So he finally connected with his neshama, and he was faced with a challenge. He was offered to write for a TV show. You might have heard of it, called Seinfeld.
Oh, no kidding, he did that?
No, he was offered to write for Seinfeld, but he said no. He said he'd rather go to yeshiva.
You're kidding.
He didn't write for Seinfeld, and he decided that he was going to go to yeshiva. Years later, he was sitting with his family. He got married to a nice frum girl. He had a bunch of kids who also went to yeshiva. And he was sitting in a hotel, and he saw there was Seinfeld on TV. And he remarked how thankful he was that he didn't give up everything he had now, his beautiful family and his Torah learning, to write for Seinfeld, which was officially a show about nothing. And Jewish people have that more than anybody else. We have a desire, our neshama, we have a lofty neshama, so we have a desire to connect to Hashem more than other people in the world. And just like if you're thirsty and you don't drink, you don't feel good. Right? You're thirsty. At the end of Yom Kippur, at the end of Tisha B'Av, I didn't feel good. I didn't drink the whole day. Your neshama is thirsty. If you don't satisfy your neshama with something to drink, you're not going to feel good. And that's why also you'll notice it's crazy. A lot of Jews are Rabbi Leiter just said this the other day. They're the head of all the movements out there. All the movements that they think are going to help people are all Jews. You know why? Because it's the neshama. It's just, unfortunately, was misdirected a little bit. sometimes when you're so thirsty, like if you're on a boat, you drink salt water, right?
Terrible.
You don't. It's the worst thing you could do, but you're so thirsty, you don't think straight, and you drink the salt water. The same thing with these Jews who are misguided. Karl Marx, Yamach Shemo, he was a Jew. He thought he was going to save the world by inventing communism. All right, Betty Friedan, her real name is Friedman, Gloria Steinem. They thought they're going to save the world by inventing feminism. Didn't really modern day feminism, I should say. There's aspects. Obviously, women should be treated equal and paid the same amount for work they do, but they took it a little too far. Even you have this guy Mamdani. Why do you think Jews support things that are against their own self-interest? Right? You have Jews supporting Mamdani, right?
I can't figure that out.
Because in their head, they're very idealistic. These Jews, they think that there's something inside of them that wants to do something, wants to help people, but they're so misguided, they do the wrong things. That's how you could have Jews against Israel and all these people. I was reading a book also about this lady. She, a lot of the heads of like bringing Buddhism to America are Jews. A guy named Goldberg, Salzburg, right? They all want something deeper, but no one ever taught them about Torah and mitzvos.
Richard Gere got into Buddhism.
Yeah, he's not even Jewish.
He's not Jewish?
He's not Jewish, no. There was, I saw an article today. There was a guy, he said his kid went to schools in Israel, secular schools. His son didn't even know what tefillin were. They don't teach him what tefillin is there. They totally block.
How come?
Because the secular in Israel are like this. That's why people are opposed to the secularism over there in Israel, because what they did is they took Judaism and they said, we're going to make the Jews like a nation like all other nations,
Right.
where we're just going to have a country with no religion at all. So this kid went to, imagine you go to school in Israel, Hebrew is your language, and you don't even know what tefillin are. That's what this kid are. So the point is, though, there's Jews, and we have to be, what makes a Jew special? A Jew is special because we have a neshama. We have that part of us that wants to be close to Hashem. And the only way we could be complete and be happy is if we satisfy the part of us that wants to get close to Hashem, the neshama. Just like we need food and water to satisfy our nefesh, and we need to have friends, we need to feel important for our ruach, we need to have Torah and mitzvos for our neshama. Now, one of the best ways to satisfy our neshama, obviously learn Torah, do mitzvos. One of the most important mitzvos in this week's parsha, well, part of it is in this parsha, but the special mitzvah, it really applies to everybody. There's a special mitzvah to love a convert. A convert to Judaism, someone who comes to Judaism, they don't have a family. They come here, they don't have family, they don't have friends. It says a convert is kekatan shanola dami, which means it's like he's reborn. So a person like that is in a very, very vulnerable situation. So this is what the Rambam says about loving a convert. Avas hager shaba v'nichnas tachas kanfei hashchina. A convert who comes under the wings of Hashem's presence. Shtei mitzvos aseh. There are two mitzvos to love him. Achas mipnei shehu bichlal reim. He's like every other Jew. He's your friend. It's a special mitzvah to love another Jew. V'achas mipnei shehu ger. Also because he's a stranger, he's a convert. Torah Amr, the Torah says, V'haftam es hager. You have to love the convert. Tziva al avas hager, k'mo shetziva al avas atzmo. Shemar v'avas v'aftas Hashem alokecha, kodesh baruch hu atzmo ohev gerim, shnemar v'ohev ger. It says the mitzvah to love a convert is compared to the mitzvah to love Hashem. That's how important it is to love Hashem. We see from here, you have to love a convert because he's in a vulnerable situation. He comes, he doesn't have a family, he doesn't have a land. So we see here also there's a special mitzvah to love another Jew, especially another Jew who maybe he's downtrodden, he's not so successful, he's poor, someone in a difficult circumstance. Is a special mitzvah to go and help him. So Melech Biderman, you probably know the story already. I was very inspired by this story. Sometimes we think, what can I do for this guy? I can't do much. He's very poor. He's out of work. He needs a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money to give to him. So there was a family. They were sitting shiva for their father in Bnei Brak, and it's a Melech Biderman story. A guy comes and he says, "I want to tell you, your father saved my life." Now they knew this guy. This guy was very poor. He had a lot of trouble with his children. He had a lot of difficulties in his life. So the family's thinking like, well, our father was also poor, so he didn't give this guy any money. Like, what did he do to help you? He said, your father never gave me money. He never, got me a job. but every Saturday night I would come to speak to your father and tell him all of my troubles, and he would listen. And he said that prevented me from committing suicide, just because I had someone to talk to. That's all you got to do. Just sometimes, Rabbi Leiter had a story also. There was some guy, I think someone said he came to the shul, and he said he was contemplating killing himself, and someone said hello to him, and he said, oh, someone cares about me. You never know, just giving somebody a smile can change your day. You never know who's walking around anxious, depressed. So if you're wealthy and you can help them out, that's very nice. Or maybe you're the head of an organization, you could do something. Even not, just giving somebody a smile could literally change his life. Someone asked my Rosh Yeshiva, he said, in Elul starting soon. So in yeshiva it gets very intense sometimes, because Rosh Hashanah is coming, everyone wants to learn well, daven well. So someone asked Rabbi Feldman, he said, during Elul, there's a lot of new people coming to yeshiva. But I also, should I interrupt my studies, interrupt learning Torah to say hi to him, because I don't want to interrupt. It's during Elul, and I don't want to interrupt my studies to say hi to a new student. So Rabbi Feldman said specifically because it's Elul, and we're getting close to Rosh Hashanah, you should interrupt your Torah learning and say hi to the new student. That's being very vulnerable. You get to, I don't know if you remember, it was a long time ago, you go to a new school, you don't have any friends, you don't know anybody, it's difficult. So he said specifically because it's Elul, we're getting close to Rosh Hashanah, you should go and reach out to them.
I've been here a long time. Norman, who was the president here a long time ago, he used to always welcome people coming into the shul. All new people. Yeah. Anybody who walked through that door, he would go and greet them.
I didn't know Rabbi Leiter does it after Mincha. He always does that.
Rabbi Leiter doing that too.
It's very important. Loving the convert. That same thing in that convert. Similar idea. Melech Biederman had another story. There was a fellow. There's an organization in Queens called Hashivenu. That helps people that were born religious and left Judaism. It brings them back to Judaism. So there was a very prominent rabbi whose son, you read the story? There's a very prominent rabbi whose son left Judaism. He wasn't interested in it, or I think he was teetering. He wasn't so interested anymore. So he brought him to this organization. And he was able to, the head of the organization was able to learn with this boy and inspired him, and he returned to Judaism. So he told this big rabbi, he says, I don't know if you remember this, but 30 years ago, I came to yeshiva, and I was a very weak student. So I needed somebody to learn with me, to try to help me go, try to help me be successful. First guy I went to, he said he's too busy for me. Same thing happened with the second guy I went to, he was too busy to learn with me. So he said, you know what? If the third guy, if I ask another guy and he says he doesn't have time for me, I'm leaving this yeshiva, I'm going to college, I'm not interested in this Judaism stuff anymore. He said, you were the third guy I went to and you learned with me.
Okay.
So this guy stayed religious and only kept learning Torah and doing mitzvos because of this fellow, and he later started this organization that saved this guy's son. Imagine if this guy didn't take that opportunity to learn with this weak student. It all comes back. I'll just finish with one more story. In 1948, Jordan conquered the West Bank, and the Jews in Yerushalayim could no longer go to the Kotel. It says Hashem's presence is at the Kotel. So Ari Levin, the tzaddik of Yerushalayim, he used to daven by the Kotel because it says Hashem's presence is there. But after 1948, he couldn't go there anymore. So people asked him, where are you going to go pray now? Where are you going to go daven? Now that the Kotel we don't have access to. So he says, I'm going to go to the home of the Turbina Rav. He says, why the home of the Turbina Rav? He says, because he helps a lot of broken people. There's a lot of sad people, and he inspires them. He gives them chizuk. He says, Hashem's presence dwells around people that help other people and give chizuk to them and inspire them, and especially the poor and the downtrodden. Well, there's a lot of people. Sometimes we only want to help those that are maybe affluent or could give us something in return. A real tzaddik, he goes and helps people that other people ignore, that other people don't want to help. That's a real tzaddik, because everyone is one of Hashem's children. So that's what we're learning about. Haftam Esager. We love the convert. He's in a difficult situation. We should do a special mitzvah to help those who are in difficult circumstances. And we start talking about that because the beginning of the parsha says, we follow the mitzvahs, we have a good life. And we're saying why? Because we have to satisfy, our neshama is thirsty, and we have to give it what to drink. Okay.
Where did you go after Sunday, Israel?